Today, we're going to unpack a single investment that honestly tells a much bigger story. It's a story about fish, about finance, and really about the future of food for an entire continent. So let's dive right in. $15 million. Just let that number sit for a second. It's a lot of money, for sure. But this isn't just about the cash. This figure, it's a massive vote of confidence in a whole new way of thinking about how to build businesses and, food systems in Africa. So this 15 million, it's all going to fuel what some are calling East Africa's protein revolution. And it's all about scaling up the production of one of the most critical food sources out there, fish. But you gotta ask, right? How does one fish deal actually spark a revolution? Here's how we're gonna break it down. We'll start with the deal itself, then we'll look at the powerhouse company that's making it all happen. We'll track their growth story, see the real-world impact, and then we'll zoom out and talk about what this all means for the future of investing in Africa. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. First up, the deal. This whole thing was announced back in April 2026, and it definitely made some waves. Let's meet the key players. So on one side, you've got AgDevCo, which is a specialist investor that knows this space inside and out. And on the other, you have Victory Group, the region's #1 tilapia producer. The money itself is structured as growth capital, basically rocket fuel for expansion. But here's the kicker, the really important detail. This is a follow-on investment. AgDevCo already put money in back in 2021. This new, way bigger check, it's a huge sign that the first bet paid off and that they believe Victory Group is ready for the big leagues. Which brings us to the company at the heart of this whole story, Victory Group. So, what makes them so special? Why are investors lining up? Well, it's pretty simple. They are so much more than just a fish farm. Their secret sauce is this, a fully integrated model. And what that means is, instead of just farming fish and selling them to some middleman, they control the entire process, the whole shebang. This level of control is just massive. It means they can cut down on waste, they can keep prices stable, and they can make sure a consistently great product actually gets to the consumer. And here's what that looks like in practice. They farm their tilapia in Kenya and Rwanda. They process it themselves, then, and this part is absolutely critical, they use their own specialized cold chain system for distribution, which lets them sell directly to over 100 different outlets. That end-to-end control gives them a huge advantage on quality, on efficiency, and on cost. And listen, this is not some pie-in-the-sky startup. Victory Group has been around since 2015. They've got major operations in 2 countries already. And their goal is pretty wild. 30,000 tons of fish this year alone. Plus, they're already making moves to expand into Tanzania next. Okay, so how did they get here? Let's talk about their financial journey, because every step they've taken has made them a safer and safer bet for investors. It's a classic story of de-risking the business. I mean, this timeline really tells you everything. Back in 2021, AgDevCo came in with a smaller investment to help them professionalize their operations. That success paved the way for a massive $35 million round in 2023, which proved that the big institutional investors were totally sold on their model. It's that proven track record that explains exactly why AgDevCo is now doubling down with $15 million to pour fuel on the fire. You can hear it straight from the founder and CEO, Joseph Riemann himself. He just nails that right here. He perfectly connects that hard-nosed business goal, becoming a leading protein supplier, with the mission of lifting up the local communities that are frankly essential to their success. And that brings us to the human element. A $15 million deal can feel a little abstract. So what does this actually mean for people on the ground, in their everyday lives? Well, it means directly supporting thousands of what are known as mama samakis. These are the female fish traders who are the absolute, undisputed backbone of local food markets. Victory Group's reliable, steady supply of fresh fish directly empowers these small business owners. It gives them a consistent, high-quality product to sell to their neighbors and their communities. So when you really look at it, this investment is kind of a triple threat. First, it increases access to affordable, healthy protein for everybody. Second, it provides that super reliable supply for the traders we just talked about. And by doing both of those things, it strengthens the entire local food system, making the whole thing much more resilient. Okay, now it's time to zoom all the way out, because this one deal, as important as it is really a powerful signal of a much, much bigger shift that's happening across the entire continent. For decades, foreign investment in Africa pretty much meant one of 2 things. Either you were extracting commodities, like oil or minerals, or you were providing foreign aid. This deal represents something totally new.
It's not about taking something out, it's about building an integrated business. It's not driven by charity, but by solid business fundamentals that are responding to real local demand.
So the big takeaway here is that the Victory Group's story proves a really powerful point. A business can be both incredibly profitable and create huge social impact at the same time. And maybe even more important, it shows that this kind of model is now investable at a large scale, attracting serious private capital.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought to chew on. For years and years, the conversation around food security has been all about aid and nonprofits. But the Victory Group story, it suggests that maybe, just maybe, the most powerful and sustainable tool for feeding a continent is simply a well-built, scalable, and profitable business plan.